in terms of our overall performance, we like to think that our company is what we grow into, not what we are right now, because we did have a lot of very bad numbers to begin with. Um, this includes the cumulative market performance of 0.005, which was the minimum in this simulation, the cumulative financial performance of negative 1.86, which was also the minimum in this simulation, and we topped out on the cumulative investment in future, so 22.095. Our demand was driven purely on the Traveler Plus, and this generated up to 251 demand by the end of the simulation. Our three lowest selling laptops, which happened to also be our three first design laptops, being the Maddox Teal, the Maddox Iron, and the Lincoln, had negative margins of 54,000, 133,000, and 79,000 respectively. However, our most recently designed laptop, the Traveler Plus, which was designed in Q7, we finally got the hang of it, and this laptop grossed us about $400,000 in the end. In terms of our North American sales, the Traveler Plus was carrying for most of our sales weight in the market, and this totaled of a cost of goods sold of about $470,000 and a gross margin of about $370,000 again. And in terms of unwanted inventory, we had a lot of it, and our gross margin on unwanted inventory was about negative 270,000.
Here at Chants Computers, we've struggled financially from the start of the simulation. We didn't make a profit in quarters 1 to 4 and wanted to make some changes in quarters 5 to 8 so we can get out of the red and into the green. This didn't happen, but we minimized our debt when we got a $5 million loan. We put the money into research and development. We were down over $5 million in quarter 5 with negative 52 earnings per share. We wanted to make some changes, so we got the team together, added another line of computers, but still closed offices, which didn't help our bottom line. We didn't have the marketing out there to get our product a big name. By quarter 8, we brought that down to negative $1 million and had a negative 11 earnings per share. So we reduced our debt, but still didn't make a profit. In quarter 7, we gained over $1 million in revenue after only generating $200,000 in quarter 5 and $187,000 in quarter 6, with a gross profit of negative $7,858. We believe the spike in sales was bringing in a new computer to the market and creating ads for exposure. After quarter 7, our cost of goods sold were more than our revenue, and in quarter 8, we had a net profit of negative $91,888. We believe if we opened another sales office in quarter 8, our profit would have continued to go up and we would have reduced our debt. After not being profitable for any of the quarters and the $5 million loan being spent on research and development not doing any of us good, we knew we were going downhill, closing sales offices to think we were going to get money back, and this resulted in a $1 remaining cash balance for quarters 5 to 8. Here at Chance Computers, we know that we handled our finances poorly. The problem we had is we put ourselves in too deep of a hole in the beginning of our company, which shifted our focus on how to get our money back. We failed to become a competitor in the market and made up less than 1% of the market share. What we should have done is, instead of investing the money into research and development, come up with a completely new brand for the Mercedes market, while expanding sales offices nationally to Asia Pacific and Europe, and not just the United States. Our total equity hovered over $2 million, and in quarter 8, total was $2,162,718, seen on the balance sheet right here.
Throughout our 8 quarters, we produced and eliminated many products, but the product we generated the best demand was for our laptop, the Traveler Pro. Our overall brand demand for our computer, the Traveler Plus, came out to be 251 in net demand, and there are no other numbers to compare it to due to the team's decision to focus on one brand. The Traveler Plus generated over $800,000 in sales revenue and $400,000 in cost of goods sold. The Traveler Plus produced promising numbers overall for the Chants computers and provided a positive gross margin for our sales office in Chicago. Out of the 6 brands that our company created, the Traveler Plus received the highest demand and profitability. The Traveler Plus had a gross profit of over $300,000, a brand profit of over $100,000, and a profit per unit of $649. The Traveler Plus is the product that put the Chants computers on our consumers' radar. Our brand, the Traveler Plus, generated a high brand judgment with our target consumer. Our overall brand profit totaled out to be over $200,000, which is the best numbers that we saw out of any brand that we had created as a team. In the end, we came out with the 3rd highest score for brand judgment out of many of our competitor brands. Our overall ad judgment in our North American sales office in Chicago lacked regional media inserts, but we came out strong within our local media inserts. Although we fell short with our ad judgment, we have come to realize as a team that location and sales offices are everything if you want your product to sell to your consumer. To get our product out to the public, you have to ensure that your ad catches the consumer's eye, and you should always open more sales offices to reach your consumers in other regions.
Here at Chants Computers, we had an almost eccentric business model in terms of our sales offices, as we had a rough Q1 and 2, and this led to us closing our other sales offices, which in the end was a bad idea, mistake. However, the team agreed upon it at the time. Lots of costs and lost profits and laying off salespeople, as well as the actual closing costs of the office. However, this led us to a singular landmass of North America. And in North America, we had sales revenue of $853,000. We had a gross margin of about $370,000, and overall, we had a regional loss at $159,000.
Hello, I'm going to be going over how our business, Chants Computers, compared to other businesses in the simulation, starting with competitors' sales force in the top left. If you look in about the middle of the graph, you see Chants Computers, and now we have 10 total salespeople. We have 10 total currently in Traveler. Towards the end of the quarters, we actually changed our salespeople around. We have 10 in Traveler now and 10 in Innovator, totaling up to total 20 salespeople. It's much better than the original 10 we had in one segment. It brought us much more sales because there was more marketing and advertising to go along with it. So that number is 20. We have 20 total salespeople at the end of the quarter, and it could have been higher, but for the money we were working with, 20 was about the highest we could go. At the top right, you see market demand. Also in about the middle of the graph, you see Chants Computers. We have 4 market demand in Innovator and 247 in Traveler. Traveler was our second target segment, but soon became our primary target segment towards the end of the simulation, which we actually got a much higher number in compared to the Innovator segment. Still numbers that are not nearly as good as we would like to have seen, but definitely starting to come up from the previous quarters. In the bottom left, you see the Traveler segment. We are not even barely visible in that graph. That just shows that we could have much opportunity to improve, maybe have our advertisements and products more based off of the competitors that are doing well in the same target segments, and which is what we try to do, as I said, in the ending of the simulation, but I think we're getting there. If you look at the bottom right, you see market share. Also in about the middle, we have 0.03% in Innovator and 1.19% in Traveler, with a total market share of 0.29%. Not nearly the numbers we were hoping to have, but there's always room for come up, and we are definitely, if there was more time in the simulation, we would have improved it. What we learned from this simulation as a business is that teamwork will always make the company succeed more. With that being said, every choice we made as a company, we all agreed upon and did the decision together. Nothing was done by just one person. Everybody agreed. As we progressed in the simulation, we realized some of our mistakes that we wish we could have prevented from the beginning, such as sales offices. We had multiple sales offices opening in the first quarters, and then once we tried to recoup some of our money because we were experiencing losses and trying to pay off the loan, we closed some of the sales offices along with firing the salespeople that were in the offices. Closing the sales offices was one of the largest mistakes we had because not only did we need them, but it cost money to close, which is money we didn't have in the first place. And the salespeople that came along with it, we had to fire. We didn't relocate to a different facility. We simply fired them, which also costed money. That was one of the main things that set us back as a company in the simulation, I believe. And another main thing was our product line. We had many different products throughout the simulation, and only one of them we ended up with. With that being said, we spent a lot of money on advertisements and on making computers that were never officially sold to the customers, which made us sell a bunch of unwanted inventory at the end of the simulation of computers that were never officially sold, which lost us a lot of money because we weren't getting any retail prices for selling the unwanted inventory. We were selling them for what we made them for. So we were having a lot of losses with our product line, with the sales offices, and with the salespeople. So what we learned is that from the beginning, know what you need to do, hire the people you need to have, and keep the offices open. Because in the end, you will need them, and you can't have a successful business without enough advertising, people, and media placements. Thank you.